welcome to Centurions Corner, and today we are building another custom, and today's custom is Captain Vaughn from season 7 of the Disney Plus animated series. And this guy kind of replaced Captain Rex. As Captain Rex went to Commander, we had Captain Vaughn. Unfortunately, he didn't live very long to see at least past 2 episodes, but he captured quite a lot of hearts. So I'm going to bring him on the shelf to go in line with the 322nd Clone Trooper that we have here. And this is a Clone Trooper that I made a little while back, and it was a 332nd Clone Trooper. I had a spare Captain Rex head, and it had a removable helmet, which was this, and it was fine. Obviously I didn't really have much reference of what the future 302nd Trooper kind of helmet colour would be, so I just went for a standard orange that I had and just splodged it on there. And obviously you can see just in the detail there where it was a Captain Rex, I had to paint on these extra lenses, sort of like drape them down to make them more of a phase 2. But as we're looking at it, it's very sort of like very light compared to the other one, and yeah, it's just not, and it wasn't my favourite custom at all. Once I've done it, I just didn't like the way the paint went onto this helmet and stuff like that, so I'm quite happy to take this one off the shelf now, where we got this guy, and now we're going to make his captain. So follow the tutorial that I did for the whole body for this one, which I'll put a link up here, so you can actually see the design of this and what I used. So we go from there. He's literally the same as a 501st Trooper, but now we're just going to paint the blue on his armbands or his elbows. We need to repaint this back over white, and he has a very fine strip, a bit like Commander Cody Phase 2 grey. So we'll be using a dark sea grey XF54. Also, his under torso bit here is the same colour as well, so we'll be painting that. I think these bits are as well. So we'll go on, paint that up and get him ready to go. And thanks to Clone Based Customs, we have more 3D parts, so we can actually make more customs. And I have asked for, pull one out, a backpack, as he uses one of these, which is the same as, again, as Commander Cody. He's pretty much a Commander Cody. And also we've got a badge, which is like on my pots, so we'll be painting that up as well. And then we have a phase 2, well, Commander Cody once again, I guess. We've got those sort of extra parts on here over this part. I've already gone along and sort of started painting it up white, just to basically get a little bit ahead of myself, because it does take a while just doing the white and then repainting it, because I am very impatient. So that's kind of it. We're going to take this head off, pop this on, paint it all up, and hopefully we have a Captain Vaughn at the end. So let's go. Don't forget, if you do like this content and you want to help the channel, then please just drop a like, you can subscribe and you can comment and ding that bell. Thank you so much. CT-0292, nicknamed Vaughn, was a clone trooper officer who served as a clone captain within the 332nd Company. He was assigned to Commander Rex and former Jedi Padawan Ahsoka Tano. Captain Vaughn, all finished and weathered and ready to go with his brothers on the shelf. Now I thought I might as well finish this off with the review itself rather than bringing out one a little bit later on, generally to the fact that I've already customised the figure. It's just literally the helmet and the additions that we've actually added on there. But it's actually taken me probably about the same amount of time to actually do a full figure. It's just the helmet, it's just very kind of intricate, you want to get it right, and it's also the colours as well. So what have we done? We just added that 3D head on there. It's a really nice sculpt from Clone Base Customs, and all these 3D parts. So we've got the aerial, we've got the little badge, and we've got his backpack as well. And all these can be found with Clone Base Customs, and I'll put his where to contact him in the description down below. And yeah, just adding it to the colours of this, or the red and the yellow that I had to mix together. I went over again with the blues, just to sort of coincide with the newer blue that I was adding on to the actual figure itself. We've got this sort of imperial grey line on the side here. We had to colour in his pads again, finish off painting the his little jetpack on the back, and then filling in these areas down the bottom. But the main thing that really makes this figure pop from the 501st is obviously his face, or his helmet. And yeah, it's just absolutely superb. I love it. At first I hated this figure, what I'd done, the 32-second one, from before, I just didn't enjoy the figure. It was one of my worst sort of customs, but yeah, really glad that I could actually bring sort of some significance to this custom that I did before. And yeah, I'm really chuffed how he's turned out, and it's looking pretty dapper. So we can put him to the side just for now. And the main colour that I did use, obviously for the helmet, was white X2, and that's just sort of like a really good, nice base. It does come out quite glossy, but it's a nice matching white as well to the actual clone itself. I used a tiny little blodge of that with this XF, is it 9? I know, 8 blue, and it's a bit dark on its own, but putting a little smidget of this white in there, it actually makes this really nice 501st blue, and it's pretty good. So next I use, which is that imperial grey on the side in his ab area, all the aerials and all that other stuff. I used dark sea grey XF54, and it's a really nice kind of colour to work with. Other colours that I use obviously is the red and the yellow, so X7 and XF3. Starting with red as a base and adding slowly the yellow, just to get this orange come up to sort of like a nice kind of standard. It is quite dark actually, it's a little bit darker than the official. When I actually put it on the paper it looked right, but it's dried a little bit darker. But I actually like the darkness to it, it sort of just adds to it a little bit more. I think if I did go that orange, I think it might be a little bit too bright for me, as I always kind of thought this one was a bit too bright. Next up I use, which is the dull red that's been seen quite a lot on this channel recently. I tried just adding a bit more red back to the visor and stuff, but I just couldn't get it. It just went redder and redder. But I just added this sort of colour to it, to the visor itself, and as you can see it's slightly a little bit of a different colour. It's a little bit darker, how it should be. And he has a tiny strip that comes down from the visor over this nose bit at the front, and that actually goes to that colour as well. I think the paint's come off, or I might have knocked it slightly, so I need to re-over that. And we'll just put that to the side. The other paint that we use is the semi-gloss, that's just to do his visor, and the rubber sort of like seal around the back of the helmet, and also that grey I did on these parts as well. And then the rest, so the aluminium was XF16, and that just does the gun, and his tiny little dots in his sort of like breather parts there at the front of the mask. And then my flat black, which is actually my sort of black acrylic wash, where I've just sort of highlighted the figure in certain areas just to bring a bit of shadow in and stuff and all that in there. And that's kind of it really. That's bringing Vaughn to the shelf, and yeah, I'm really chuffed how he's turned out, and quite proud. So hopefully you guys can go out there, pick up one of these helmets and stuff from Clone Base Customs, and bring one of these bootleg dudes to life. So thank you once again for joining me on this one. You can comment down below, you can follow me on Instagram where you'll see more pictures of Captain Vaughn, and then I'll see you next time. Take care.